Good morning, students. Welcome you all to this online lecture series on VLSI design. As you know, in the previous lecture, we studied in detail the various VHDL statements such as arrays, resolution functions, packages, libraries, and concurrent statements. So in today's lecture, we are going to do the revision of very basic concepts. As you see on the slide, we are going to revise thoroughly very basic concepts of VHDL. In today's lecture, we revise very important topic, that is basic details of VHDL. Here we study details of computer-aided design tools which are used in digital systems, hardware description language, and introduction to VHDL. So as you see on the slide, the first topic of today's lecture is Introduction to Computer-Aided Design or CAD. Now first of all, what is the meaning of computer-aided design? The definition says that it is the creation, modification of the design with the help of computers. And it is also very beneficial for scientists and engineers. So what is the basic purpose of these CAD systems or computer-aided designs? The CAD helps in creating simple designs with the assistance of various scales. So what are its advantages? The CAD saves money by creating prototypes of the products before they are actually manufactured. And these CAD tools helps the designers to work on the strength and weakness of the product, which is in the form of a prototype of that design. Now there are many applications of computer-aided design or CAD systems. That is, there is possibility of lesser error in CAD since it utilizes 3D technology for the improved visualization of the drawings. Apart from CAD, there are other engineering drawing services too, and CAD tools are there which are beneficial to engineers and architects for designing various products or projects which are beneficial for the humanity. I hope you have now thorough understanding of this topic of computer-aided design. Now let's move to the next slide for the study of CAD tools for digital systems. So what are various CAD tools which are used in digital systems? The definition says that the CAD is easy to alter and modify. What that means is the CAD transforms the blueprint of a drawing into an editable design. So I think the purpose of CAD tools is very clear, that the CAD tools are used in digital integrated circuits to design and perform highly complex functions. So these design tools can provide many tasks such as design, simulation, synthesis, and optimization. We all know that these can be very helpful in order to obtain the physical design of the product. Now what are its types? It has two types, that is design entry and simulation. Now the design entry is the first step in the design process which uses CAD tools. At this stage, the designer describes the circuit which is to be implemented using some design entry method. And this design entry method is basically provided by the type of tool that is being used. Now here, this must be keep in mind that the code is written in hardware description language, that is VHDL or Verilog. Now the second important question is, what is simulation? The simulation is basically the approximate imitation of the operation of a process or system. This means once the design entry is completed, it is tested for correct functionality using the simulation. Now, what is the CAD tool that performs this job? That CAD tool is called as functional simulator, which actually uses some test vectors for the inputs and expected outputs using the simulation. And what happens after that? After this simulation stage, the synthesis is performed, which is basically the process of translating this simulated design to actual design. Now let's study the advantages of CAD tools which are used for digital systems. The basic advantage is that with the assistance of CAD, the designers can have the option of having several sketches of the given design at the same time. Now there are many applications of CAD tools which are used for digital systems. That is, this computer aided design saves money by creating prototype of the invention, and this is done before the actual manufacturing of the product. This means this helps the designer to work on the strength and weakness of the product, which is in the form of a prototype. I hope you have now thorough understanding of these CAD tools for digital systems. Now let's move to the next slide for the study of hardware description languages. So what is the meaning of hardware description language, or HDL? And what is the difference between HDL and other languages? Let's discuss these two. The HDL stands for hardware description language. Its definition says that HDL is a language that describes the hardware of digital systems in a textual form. This means it allows the designer to work at various levels of abstraction. Actually, HDL resembles to general programming language like C language, but there is one major difference, that HDL is specifically oriented to describe various hardware structures and behaviors. This means it may resemble with other programming language, but it is specifically oriented to describe hardware structure and behavior. So the basic difference between HDL and other languages is clear, that with the traditional programming languages, there is mostly serial approach to the code execution. But in the case of HDLs, the representation is basically parallel operations. Now next question, what are various types of hardware description languages or HDLs? As you see on the slide, there are two types of hardware description languages. These are VHDL and Verilog HDL. The VHDL stands for Very High Speed Integrated Circuits Hardware Description Language. It is also sometimes referred as VASIC HDL, which was developed by US Department of Defense. And the second classification is Verilog HDL, which is basically IEEE 1364 standard, which is used for design and verification of digital systems. This Verilog HDL was developed by Cadence Data Systems, which was later transferred to Open Verilog International. Now another very important question, how HDL logic is applied. The HDL logic is applied through various design steps. These design steps are basically two types, front end steps and the back end steps. The front end steps further include four important phases. These are block diagram, coding, compilation and simulation. where these 4 works for doing specific tasks. Let's discuss them briefly. The block diagram is that part which defines the modules and their interfaces. Similarly, the coding includes writing of HDL code for modules and their interfaces with internal details. The compilation is that part which analyzes the code for syntax errors, and it checks the compatibility with other modules. And the simulation is that part which defines and apply inputs to the design, and also it observes its output. And the backend design steps include another 4 modules like verification, synthesis, fitting and timing verification. The verification is further of 2 types, that is functional verification and timing verification. The functional verification is the study of circuits' logical operations, and the timing verification is the study of circuit components such as delays and timing requirements. The next part, synthesis, covers the HDL description into a set of components that can be assembled, and the fitting uses fitter maps for the synthesis, which are used in the HDL code. And the last module, that is timing verification, is the actual circuit delay due to wire lengths, electrical loading and other factors. I hope you have now thorough understanding of this topic of hardware description language. Now let's move to the next slide for the study of introduction to VHDL. So the first question is, what is VHDL? The definition says that the VHDL stands for Very High Speed Integrated Circuit Hardware Description Language. It is that language that is used in electronic design automations. It must be noted that it is just like C language that supports wide range of description styles, and those styles can be structural description, data flow description, behavioral description and mixed description. Now what are various VHDL domains? There are basically 3 VHDL domains, that is synthesis, simulation and test bench. The synthesis is a process where a VHDL code is compiled and mapped. Now what that means is, the synthesis is basically done using an implementation technology, which can be FPGA or ASIC technology. And the VHDL simulation is the execution of the model in the software environment. Now it must be noted that this is achieved using the VHDL simulator. And the last domain, that is VHDL test bench, is that part of the VHDL code which is used to verify the functional correctness of the HDL model. Now let's study basic VHDL code. The VHDL code consists of 3 sections: library declaration, entity and architecture. The VHDL library declaration allows to store commonly used packages and entities, which can be used in the VHDL programs. The entity is that part which corresponds to interface. It means the input output ports of the circuits are declared here. And the architecture describes the behavior of the entity declaration. This means the architecture describes the behavior of the VHDL code. So the architecture statement describes the underlying functionality of the entity. Now there are many advantages and applications of VHDL. Some of those are the advantages of The advantages of VHDL includes it offers several advantages to the designer. It is a standard language because it has readily available tools. It is a powerful and versatile description language. It has multiple mechanisms to support design hierarchy. And it has versatile design configuration support. And the sum of the application areas of VHDL are system specification, design entry, simulation, synthesis, test development, and timing verification. So I hope you have now a thorough understanding of this topic of introduction to VHDL. This was all about today's lecture, where we studied in detail basic details of VHDL. As you see on the next slide, in the next lecture we shall study another 3 important topics of this unit, that is data objects, classes, and data types, along with the various VHDL operators. So we shall discuss these topics with suitable examples in the next lecture. Thank you.